Scientists tend to do a far better job explaining today's technologies than they do deciphering the innovations of the ancient world. They're pretty well versed in modern breakthroughs, but when it comes to ancient civilizations, even the experts hit a wall. That's exactly why the world is still full of baffling ancient sites and mysterious artifacts, and in this video, we're diving into 15 of the most extraordinary ones ever uncovered. And believe me, once you see them, you can't unsee them. Let's kick off things with number 15, Stone Head of Salaspils. For years, this carved stone head lay forgotten in a churchyard in Salaspils, Latvia, and its significance was entirely overlooked. Today, it sits in the Museum of the History of Riga and Navigation, but its story remains blurred. The most accepted account claims a farmer found it while plowing in 1851 and passed it to a stonemason who sensed its importance and delivered it to Riga Cathedral. Then it vanished for decades like D.B. Cooper, only resurfacing during a churchyard excavation in 2000. Carved from a 3-foot boulder using iron tools, the head features distinct human facial traits, though its purpose is unclear. Scholars suspect it's a religious figure, likely an idol, given its resemblance to pagan Baltic stone carvings, particularly the old Prussian hags of northern Pomerania. But beyond that theory, nothing's certain. Neither the creator nor the precise origin has ever been identified. It's just a scary mystery. Number 14. Lepenski Vir Collection. Unearthed in 2019 near the banks of the Danube River in Serbia, these small clay figurines have baffled archaeologists from the start. With downward-facing mouths and almost fish-like facial structures, they don't resemble any known artistic style from the region. They're estimated to be over 8,000 years old, linked to the ancient settlement of Lepenski Vir, what some consider the first true city in Europe. The people who made them remain totally unknown, their language, beliefs, and customs completely lost to time. Some experts speculate these figures represent river gods or spirits, while others think they might be expressions of grief, possibly related to mourning rituals. What's certain is that their craftsmanship reflects a surprising level of detail for their age. Despite numerous theories, no one's been able to definitively explain their purpose. Number 13. Minoan hieroglyphs. Archaeologists have unearthed hundreds of Minoan hieroglyphs over the years, yet they remain entirely undeciphered. These symbols date back to around 2100 BCE, making them slightly older than Linear A, another mysterious Minoan script. Both were in use for several centuries, and both disappeared without a clear explanation. More than 830 symbols have been recorded, hinting they could represent complex ideas, possibly syllables, or even full phrases. Scholars suspect the language behind the script is Minoan, but since Minoan itself hasn't been decoded, that theory hits a dead end. The symbols appeared on clay tablets and artifacts mostly from Crete, suggesting they were widely used before vanishing from the record. Efforts to understand them continue, but progress is frustratingly slow. Without a bilingual key like the Rosetta Stone, the full meaning may never surface. For now, these weird and spooky symbols remain locked. Number 12. Cyrus Cylinder. If there are words to expose the soul of an empire, the Cyrus Cylinder comes closest. Crafted in 539 BCE after Cyrus the Great seized Babylon from Nabonidus, this clay artifact, written in Akkadian cuneiform, blends theology, propaganda, and conquest. The first half tells how Nabonidus dishonored the gods, halting sacred rites, defiling temples, and silencing Marduk's worship. In response, Marduk chose Cyrus, king of Anshan, to restore order and lead. In the second half, Cyrus speaks directly, listing his titles, praising Marduk, and describing how he released captives and restored displaced gods to their homes. Though Jews aren't named, the lines mirror Ezra 1:2-3 and Isaiah 45:1, where Yahweh appoints Cyrus to free the Israelites and rebuild the temple. Modern claims of it being the first human rights charter stem from the 1971 Iranian monarchy's agenda, its UN distributed translation romanticized and trimmed. Scholars now see it as brilliant imperial PR. It wasn't about justice, it was control dressed in divine approval. Number 11. Viking helmet heist. A rare Viking helmet, believed to date back to the 11th century, vanished in 2010 under mysterious circumstances. It reappeared more than a decade later, recovered by Romanian authorities in early 2021. Radu Oltean, a leading expert on Viking archaeology in the region, confirmed the helmet's Baltic design and praised its craftsmanship. It's the only helmet of its kind ever uncovered in Romania, and one of the few intact examples across Europe. Unlike the fictional horned versions often seen in pop culture, this design is functional, cone-shaped, battle-ready, and historically accurate. The Romanian police haven't disclosed where the helmet was hidden or who had it, but its safe return is a major win for historians and museums alike. Its condition suggests it was well preserved despite being underground or possibly passed between private collectors. Today, the artifact is back in museum hands, and you can see it. Number 10. Ame no Sakahoko. Ame no Sakahoko, known as the upturned sky spear, is more than just a piece of folklore in Japan. It's a sacred symbol tied to the country's origin myths. According to legend, it was the divine halberd used by Izanagi and Izanami to create the earth. Later, the spear was handed to the deity Ninigi no Mikoto, who planted it atop Mount Takachiho, believing no one would ever retrieve it and misuse its power. Strangely enough, there's actually a bronze halberd embedded in that very mountaintop, estimated to date back to the 8th century. Due to its mythical ties, no one dared to touch it for centuries. That changed in the 19th century when samurai Sakamoto Ryoma pulled the weapon from the stone during a honeymoon hike with his wife. Exactly 50 years later, the mountain erupted in 1913, splitting the blade. The current sword on the summit is a replica, but its original handle still sits in place, stirring whispers about destiny and consequence. Number 9. Warrior of Capestrano. Standing over 6 feet tall, the Warrior of Capestrano is one of the most unique statues in ancient Italian history. Discovered in 1934 during construction near Capestrano, this limestone figure likely dates back 2,600 years. Believed to represent a Piscine king, its scale and craftsmanship suggest ceremonial importance. Traces of pigment still cling to the stone, meaning it was once vividly painted. The statue wears elaborate headgear and armor, prompting historians to interpret it as a funerary tribute. An inscription at the base references a sculptor named Aninis and a figure called Navios Pompulidius, possibly the honored subject. If the translation holds true, this would be the earliest recorded dedication to an artist in human history. The statue currently resides in the National Archaeological Museum of Abruzzo, drawing visitors as much for its mystery as its grandeur. Despite centuries of erosion and war, the warrior still stands tall. Number 8. Sun disk discovered on ancient Thracian altar. In northwestern Turkey's Edirne province, archaeologists uncovered a 3,500-year-old Thracian rock altar, carved into stone and featuring a rare sun disk believed to have been used for astronomical observation. The site, located within an ancient Thracian settlement, had long been under quiet study by Engin Beksaç, head of Trakya University's Art History Department. He explained the altar likely served both religious and celestial purposes, allowing Thracians to track solar and lunar cycles. These rituals were linked to the worship of the mother goddess, celebrated at precise times and anniversaries. While such discs are more commonly found in Bulgaria, this marks one of the few known examples in eastern Thrace. The find not only reaffirms Thracian expertise in astronomy, but also show how spiritual and scientific practices were deeply intertwined. Beksach emphasized that this blend of sacred and cosmic focus is rarely seen in the region, making the discovery especially significant for Thracian cultural studies. Number 7. The Portland Vase. The Portland Vase is one of the few Roman glass masterpieces that has survived nearly intact for over 2,000 years. And it's just beautiful. Found in a burial mound near Rome, it's a deep blue vessel layered with white cameo glass, depicting a mythological scene that scholars still argue about. Some believe it shows a divine union, perhaps Thetis and Peleus, or maybe even Antony and Cleopatra. Others propose darker interpretations, including post-assassination mourning for Julius Caesar. Whatever the scene represents, the craftsmanship is unmatched. Yet the base of the vase introduces another mystery. A medallion featuring Priam was added long after the vase was completed, and no one knows who did it or why. The vase has survived bombings, theft, and even vandalism. It was once shattered and painstakingly restored. Now housed in the British Museum, it remains one of the most debated and admired artifacts from ancient Rome. Its true story might never be fully understood, but its impact is undeniable. Number 6. Amida Mound. This settlement, known as Amida Mound, has turned into one of Turkey's richest archaeological sites. Excavations in early 2021 revealed yet another layer of forgotten history. This area in Diyarbakir has seen waves of major civilizations: the Romans, Assyrians, Persians, and later, the Ottomans. In this particular dig, researchers uncovered coins bearing the double-headed eagle of Nasir al-Din Mahmud, the 8th Mamluk Sultan, suggesting the coins were minted locally. Alongside them were Neolithic ceramics, featuring human figures, marking the first discovery of figurative art on pottery from this region. The site's timeline stretches from the late Stone Age through the Roman period and into Islamic rule. Every item recovered, whether it's a coin, a shard, or a carved relic, adds a layer to a long, unbroken chain of occupation. The Amida Mound isn't just a dig site. It's a live archive of shifting cultures, ideologies, and empires. Number 5. Warangal Fort. In Telangana, India, the remnants of Warangal Fort still stand. Massive stone gates rising from the earth like silent guardians of a lost dynasty. Once the capital of the Kakatiya Empire, this ancient stronghold was built over 800 years ago without a single drop of mortar. Instead, huge granite blocks were cut with such surgical precision that they locked together seamlessly. The fort's 4 iconic gates lead toward the ruins of what was once a grand Shiva temple. These gates are lined with ornate carvings of birds, lotuses, and mythical animals, but curiously, they contain no overt religious iconography. Some historians believe this absence may have spared them from destruction during later invasions. Each pillar and slab reflects craftsmanship that modern tools would struggle to replicate. Historians still debate how such perfect symmetry was achieved using only hand tools. The site continues to be a symbol of strength, skill, and the kind of architectural genius that still defies explanation. What do you think about it? Well, let us know. Number 4. Ogham Stones. Scattered across Ireland's rugged countryside are the Ogham stones, etched with a writing system that still keeps scholars guessing. These tall, narrow slabs bear inscriptions along their edges using notches and lines, forming what's believed to be the earliest Irish alphabet. Some call it the Celtic tree alphabet, as each letter is named after a tree: birch, alder, willow, and so on. Created sometime in the 4th century, Ogham is thought to have been an attempt by Gaelic speakers to record their language in written form. Around 400 stones have been found, mostly in Ireland, with a few in Wales, Scotland, and the Isle of Man. While many serve as memorials or territorial markers, only fragments can be confidently translated. One stone mentions he who was born of the raven. Another names the three sons of the bald one. It's a script of mystery, beauty, and symbolic depth, written in curves, not straight lines, and still keeping its full meaning locked away. Number 3. Java's zigzag shell. Long before Homo sapiens emerged, another early human carved a pattern into a shell. Found on the Indonesian island of Java, this zigzag-etched freshwater mussel shell is believed to be around 500,000 years old. That places it in the hands of Homo erectus, a species thought to lack complex thought. But the careful incisions say something precise: ownership, symbolism, or maybe even boredom. The shell wasn't just marked. Archaeologists found evidence that similar shells were used as tools or weapons. For comparison, the earliest markings by Homo sapiens, found in Africa, date to about 100,000 years ago. This one predates that by a long stretch. Whether it was made to claim territory, signal identity, or express something deeper, no one knows. What's clear is that someone, hundreds of thousands of years ago, picked up a shell and did more than just survive with it. They left behind a trace of thought, a gesture we might now call art. Number 2. The Dresden Codex. The Dresden Codex carries an uneasy reputation. Despite its name, this 11th century relic isn't German. It's a Maya manuscript, likely produced in Chichen Itza before making its way to Europe. The illustrated pages are filled with celestial cycles, lunar data, and complex calendar systems, but some experts think it goes further. One interpretation claims it predicts the exact conditions for the end of human civilization. Skeptics argue it's simply a precise astronomical guide, tracking the visible movements of Venus, the Moon, and eclipses. The Codex's uncanny accuracy leaves plenty of room for theories, especially considering how detailed its solar tracking appears to be. As debates continue, one prediction still floats uneasily among Maya prophecy believers: a timeline that places global catastrophe around 80 years from now. Whether that's myth, coincidence, or misunderstood science is anyone's guess. But either way, this codex remains one of the most provocative manuscripts ever found from Mesoamerican civilization. Number 1. The magic shoe behind the wall. Maintenance workers at Cambridge University stumbled upon something strange in 2016, a centuries-old leather shoe wedged behind a wall during renovation work in Second Court, a building that has stood since the late 1500s. Experts traced the shoe back to the 17th century, likely placed during interior alterations as a form of spiritual protection. At that time, people believed shoes, among other odd objects, warded off evil spirits. The superstitions didn't stop there. Horse skulls, dead cats, and bottles of urine were also used to block malevolent energy. Nobody can say exactly why shoes were favored, but they were often hidden in chimneys, walls, or floorboards. The one found here was returned to its hiding place before the wall was resealed. The idea of preserving that odd tradition by literally putting it back says more about us now than it does about those who first left it there. Superstition or not, it's now part of the building's enduring legacy. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to like it, share it, and smack that subscribe button for more content like this. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you soon.